South Florida. This is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello and welcome to Headliners. I'm Naja Sherman. As Pride Month continues, one organization is sounding the alarm over new legislation in Florida. They say it targets the LGBTQ+ community. New findings say Florida is at risk of losing out economically. CBS News Miami's Nicole Lauren has more.
Well, the organization is called Out Leadership, and it released their Business Climate Index for the year of 2023. Now, it found that the Sunshine State's actually falling in the rankings, coming in at 33rd in the nation. So the lower the state is ranked, the less inclusive it's said to be, based on a survey that they conducted. So let's talk about how they came to this conclusion with this survey. It tracked all 50 states in terms of policies, attitudes, and measurements relating to LGBTQ inclusion. Each state was given a numeric index score from 1 to 100 for how people experienced living, working, and building a family and a life in every state. The study also seemed to show that Florida's recent legislation concerning what's dubbed the Don't Say Gay law and its law banning classroom instruction about sexual identity and gender orientation may have also contributed to its decline. So let's talk about what's dubbed the most inclusive states by this survey. Number 1 was New York, 2 Connecticut, 3 Massachusetts, followed by New Jersey and Colorado. I had the chance to speak with the president of the Miami-Dade Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, who spoke on inclusion here in the state of Florida and the divisiveness that he notices.
There's certainly some folks out there that are embracing a different mentality politically and are concerned about things that may not be understood by all. And I think that's one of the things, going back to this confrontation over policy, that we're really not quite understanding where some of this is coming from. And it's up to us for us to really force that conversation and try to figure out how do we deal with that.
Well, now you may be wondering, what is the least inclusive state according to the survey and the study done by Out Leadership? Number 50 came in the state of Arkansas. In Miami, Nicole Lauren, CBS News, Miami.
Feeding South Florida is known for offering a helping hand to families facing food insecurity. But now the local nonprofit says it's the one in need. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray has the details.
It's Monday at the Full Gospel Church in Fort Lauderdale, and the line is long for food distribution. Tish Franson said this will put food on the table for herself and 2 others in her home.
I feel like a wild cat out there trying to survive.
The food she was given last week stretched for a week.
I only come when I need it, and I try to stretch what I get as far as I can. And I'm very thankful and very grateful.
This will also provide Lasivi Dulcima and 3 others in his home food for a week. His dollar's not going very far at the grocery store.
Yeah, they're very expensive. You're gonna shop about $100, you buy something, but you just bring the bag in the hand of it. You don't see what you buy for it costs $100. That's very terrible.
At Feeding South Florida, they know all about how terrible inflation is right now. Feeding South Florida supplies Full Gospel Church and dozens of other organizations in South Florida. But their rent has gone from $500,000 to $800,000 a year, and they cannot keep up with the demands from struggling families.
When I look around here, how low are you?
So we do have a lot of gaps. We do have a lot of spaces filled with empty pallets over there.
Paco Velez is CEO of Feeding South Florida.
We're looking at a $500,000 shortfall where we're asking our community to help.
As fast as food and other goods come in, they are given out to communities. These boxes are full of things like soap, detergent, and spring water from Publix, which donates 7 million pounds of food a year.
Families are coming to us more frequently, which means that they're asking for a lot more food, and we're providing as much as we possibly can. Unfortunately, donations have been down, so we've gone out and had to purchase almost $3 million worth of food over the last 4 months.
Current sponsors have been stepping up, but Feeding South Florida could really use new sponsors, individuals and corporations. If you want to learn how to contribute, you can go to our webpage, cbsmiami.com. In Pembroke Park, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
Right now, an update to a story that we first brought you on Headliners back in December. We spoke to a couple who said that they were among several families not allowed to board their cruise. It was over confusion about their passports. CBS News Miami's Gabrielle Arzola shows us what happened after their story aired and what you can learn from their ordeal.
A vacation turned into a nightmare for several families, but after it was aired right here on CBS News Miami, their stories changed course.
We have been transferred 50 times. We have spent 10 or 12 hours on the phone with Princess Cruise at about 10 different phone numbers.
It's a customer service nightmare we've all been through at some point. We met Michael and Donna O'Connor back in December. They were part of a group of families who say Princess Cruise Line representatives told them they didn't need to bring a passport. In Michael's case, they did anyway, but it was going to expire while on the cruise, so they called customer service.
So we called them and they said, oh, don't worry about it. It's a closed loop. Just bring a certified copy of your birth certificate, which I did.
But when they left Ohio and showed up to the port for their honeymoon, plans changed.
And then, of course, we drive 1,500 miles to get down there, and then they won't let us on the ship because my passport's expired.
After countless phone calls, emails, and thousands of dollars lost, they reached out to us for help. So we contacted Princess Cruise Lines, and they told us it's up to the passenger to make sure they have all of the documentation they need, saying it's regulated by the U.S. government, not the cruise line. But our story reached Princess Cruise Line executives, and they gave folks their money back.
We're all pleased for your help and for your station's help. We're given a cruise credit, we were refunded our money, and we were given a portion of our expenses.
So if you're getting ready to set sail, here are some things to keep in mind. 1, always bring your passport, no matter what. Make sure your passport doesn't expire within 6 months of the trip because some countries won't let you enter. Also, bring a copy of your birth certificate, have traveler's insurance, and include medical care in case of an emergency. And finally, look into what countries you're going to and what COVID requirements they have.
I don't think anything would have happened if it wasn't for your series on the TV.
If you'd like to see more tips that'll keep your trips stress-free, you can head over to our website at cbsmiami.com. I'm Gabrielle Arzola, CBS News, Miami.
Still ahead, see how Coral Springs residents mobilized to stop the city from chopping trees along their waterways and their message to local lawmakers.
South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Naja Sherman. Plans to chop thousands of trees along the Coral Springs waterways hit a snag. Upset voters blocked those plans with a move that ripped jobs away from key decision makers on the spot. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward breaks down the fallout.
I hope you can make it as easy for the new board.
They used to oversee water, sewer, and flood control around Coral Springs until homeowners fed up with plans for 2,500 trees along waterways. Adios. Voted out the Improvement District's board with an ovation.
One of them uprooted himself, and we uprooted the other two. And the two gentlemen who were left, we didn't feel were listening very well to us at all.
Old board members saw bigger threats. They felt trees and right-of-ways block canals and increase flood risks for homes. Seeing too little research and too much money earmarked for tree removal, signs of resistance grew.
I'm sure it would have effect on our value and everybody else's.
Homeowners wary of increased soil erosion, noise, and potential harm to wildlife asked for alternatives, then bonded through a Save Our Trees campaign.
All the heavy-handed things that people have done against nature in order to solve problems have almost always had some kind of a bad, kickback, and this definitely would.
For the first time in his life, 64-year-old Michael Kraus went door to door helping volunteers to find voters willing to force change at Coral Springs Improvement District's next board election. With 1,800 votes, many delivered by proxy.
Brent Grothenville, 1,599 votes.
Save Our Trees grassroots organizers installed 3 men who right away cut off plans to uproot trees with a resolution and new resolve.
This is a prime example of the collective voice of the many overcoming the voice of the powerful few.
New board members acknowledge the flooding threats that worried their predecessors, but expect to find better solutions. If not, they expect opponents to show up for November's board election. In Coral Springs, Larry Seward, CBS News, Miami.
They are part of South Florida's ecosystem, but did you know they also protect our wildlife and lessen the impact of storms? Unfortunately, these special shrubs are in danger of disappearing. CBS News Miami's Dave Warren reports.
It's a view that's unique to South Florida. It's just a small portion of the thousands of miles of coastline that Florida has to offer. The problem, however, is from what you can't see.
Unfortunately, with time and the development of the Florida coastline, we lost a lot of mangroves.
Dr. Randall Parkinson is a professor with the Institute of Environment at FIU. Mangroves like these that used to line the South Florida coastline
provide a habitat for recreational commercial fisheries. They prevent saltwater intrusion into our drinking water supplies. They buffer the attack of storm surge.
Those mangroves have mostly disappeared because of development and sea level rise.
Under natural conditions with sea level rise, they would have migrated landward or into the coastline, and often they can't do that because the coast is developed.
That's a problem the Rawson brothers are taking on together.
Started growing our own mangroves in the backyard right here, and then started producing merchandise to sell to consumers.
Merchandise like this, it's for sale, and it comes with an added bonus.
For every product that we sell, we plant a mangrove. So we call that our Buy One, Plant One program.
Ones like this one here.
Like that? A little more than halfway. There you go.
From seedling to potted plant, and eventually out here. Mangroves that were once in their nursery, now out here, taking root, turning a simple seawall.
That's a great example of what a living shoreline looks like.
And it's not just the mangroves that are living there.
That's a night heron. Night heron.
Birds and other aquatic life are added to these mangrove islands to help make up a healthy coastal ecosystem. It's slow and takes a lot of hard work, but it's not the only challenge these mangroves have to take on, according to Dr. Parkinson.
Just overcoming people not being aware of how important mangroves are to the water quality.
That's why Mang offers more than just apparel and a plant.
We're trying to bring education and awareness to restore what we have and enhance areas that have lost mangroves over the years.
Even if they have to do it one plant at a time.
So the apparel funds it, but those funds go to education and awareness. Just a few months old, they're hoping to turn these islands like these. After 3 years, these plants helping to provide wildlife habitat, but also keeping the shoreline cleaner and safer. In West Palm Beach, I'm Dave Warren for CBS News Miami.
When we come back, they are heading off to summer camp, but not just any summer camp. See why this one is making Miami proud.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Naja Sherman. Only here on CBS, you can watch Ice Cube's Big Three Basketball League. After 2 years of semi-touring due to COVID-19, they are finally back in action and will be traveling here to South Florida. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis spoke with Ice Cube on what's ahead for their 6th season.
First and foremost, thank you so much for chatting with us today. You guys are coming back for your 6th season, the first in arenas since COVID. Now, how exciting is this for you all to be back touring, and can fans expect anything different?
To be able to go from city to city, it's kind of like an all-star game coming to town. You know, we flood in with over 100, athletes and personalities that you know, and we put on a party, and there's no better place to be on a Sunday afternoon.
Speaking of the athletes, let's get down to the nitty-gritties of the team. What kind of roster changes can we see between the coaches and the players? Any returning people, any new faces?
A lot of people wanted to run it back. We got all our Hall of Fame coaches back. So you'll see Dr. J, you'll see Iceman George Gervin, Gary Payton, Lisa Leslie, Nancy Lieberman. Rick Barry, you'll see those guys on the sideline, but on the court, you'll see people like Joe Johnson, Mario Chalmers, who I know is a Miami favorite.
And for those who don't know, what makes Big Three different than your average basketball game? Now, we have a big basketball community here, obviously with South Florida, the Heat, just in the NBA Finals. What can those fans look forward to, and what makes this different from your average basketball game?
Well, it's fast, hard-nosed. You could trash talk. You could see 3 Big Three games in the same amount of time as you could see 1 NBA game, and just have a great day of summer fire, Big Three, fireball, baby. Yeah.
Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
How fun. A local organization that makes a difference in the lives of underprivileged and special needs children is making Miami proud. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez takes us to a special event for Shake a Leg Miami.
It's that time of the year kids look forward to the most, summer. And what a better way to spend those hot summer days than on the water.
I like the experience going in the water every day.
For the past 28 years, Shake a Leg Miami has been making a difference in the lives of underprivileged and special needs children across South Florida through their water-based summer camp for children of all abilities.
I think this is really special because, well, to be doing this for free, actually, this is really cool. It's a nice experience to get out there on the water, to explore.
And to see the kids get out on the water and the smiles on their faces and laughter is a fulfillment of what we attempted to.
Harry Horgan, president of Shake a Leg Miami, founded the organization more than 25 years ago after suffering an accident and found healing in the water.
And we really believe that there's healing qualities in the water. So getting out there and being involved, you can feel better and dream bigger.
You need 4 people.
And all these campers will be doing activities they never thought possible, like kayaking, sailing, and fishing. And on their second week of camp, they celebrated the donation of a new boat from a longtime camper and volunteer.
The very first time I was ever on the water was here at Shake a Leg. I started out 10 or 11 years old as a camper. A couple years later, I was a volunteer in the mentor program here. Shake a Leg provided so much to me as a kid. Now that I've done well professionally, it's a way to give back.
Giving back to an organization that has changed and touched thousands of lives.
And Shake a Leg is a place that provides hope and friendship to families of people with disabilities and inner city kids and anyone, veterans that want to improve their quality of their life, and we can believe we can help them do that.
And Shake a Leg also provides programs for adults and veterans, as well as programs to help young adults transition into the workforce. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
That is just fantastic. Thank you for joining us this half hour on Headliners. And as always, keep it right here on CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Have a great day.